Today we're going to talk about some SUV engines you should avoid when buying a car. These engines are known to be very unreliable and can lead to costly repairs. These engines are so problematic that even if you take good care of your car, they can still give you trouble. So let's find out 7 SUV engines that die before 50,000 miles. Number 1. BMW N63 from 2008 to 2012. Get a V8 engine, they said. It would be enjoyable, they said. However, modern BMW V8 engines have some serious problems with reliability, especially when it comes to their cooling system. The main issue is caused by 2 turbochargers placed between the rows of cylinders. While this setup saves space for BMW, it makes the turbochargers produce too much heat, and the heat isn't managed properly. When you add in the fact that the cooling system for these turbochargers commonly fails, you end up with overheated cylinder heads. In that situation, you can say goodbye to the variable valve control and camshafts, or get ready for a hefty repair bill. N63 V8 engines also have issues with timing chain stretching and fuel injectors leaking. The injector problem can harm the cylinders because gasoline can wash away the oil on the cylinder walls. After a few cold starts, your engine's compression might become a thing of the past. BMW made some improvements to this engine in 2012, so most of these problems are likely resolved in cars made from 2013 onwards. This engine can be found in the BMW 5 Series, BMW 6 Series, 7 Series, X5, and X6. Number 2. Hyundai Kia 2.0-liter, 2.4-liter engines. The Hyundai and Kia car companies make engines for their vehicles. Some of these engines, specifically the 2-liter and the 2.4-liter 4-cylinder engines, are known to have serious problems. These issues are so significant that if you're listing the worst engines you can buy, you can't leave these out. Even though Hyundai and Kia have been working to make their cars better over the past few decades, these particular engines have a major safety problem. They've been recalled because they can cause the entire engine to stop working or even catch on fire. These engines were used in various Hyundai and Kia models from 2010 to 2021, affecting millions of vehicles. The problem with these engines is that they have some defective parts inside, like piston rings and rod bearings. These defects can cause the engine to stop working suddenly or even start a fire. The recall only involves adding a knock sensor that alerts a driver when something is about to go wrong, but it doesn't fix the main issue. If you have one of these engines in your car, there's no guarantee that it won't have these problems in the future, even with regular maintenance. So the safest thing to do is avoid buying a car with one of these engines altogether, especially if they're no longer under warranty. Engine failure is rare, but it's a risk you probably don't want to take. Before we get to the next engine, if you loved the video so far, drop a like on it and of course, subscribe to the channel. Number 3. V8 Northstar DTS engine. This engine has many problems. Some common issues with this engine include leaks in the valve cover gasket and carbon buildup inside the engine. These problems are manageable with low-cost maintenance. However, they can lead to compression issues and even problems with piston rings, which can cause excessive oil consumption. There are also concerns about water pumps failing, rear main seals leaking oil, and the infamous valve cover gasket failing, which can introduce coolant into the engine. This coolant issue can lead to misfires and black smoke coming from the exhaust. If the oil pump fails, it can result in engine damage. Water pumps in these engines are also known to be problematic. Overall, this engine was poorly built and many owners found themselves unsatisfied with its performance and longevity. It often didn't last beyond 50,000 miles. Number 4. GM 3.6-liter V6. In the past 10 years, the 3.6-liter V6 engine has been used in various cars and SUVs, including Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac vehicles. However, this engine has many serious problems. For instance, it often consumes a lot of oil, sometimes up to 1 quart for every 1,000 to 2,000 miles. Additionally, it can experience issues like cam phaser wear, timing cover leaks, and timing chain failures, all of which are expensive to fix. While some improvements have been made to this engine over the years, it's still uncertain if all the problems have been completely resolved. If you're thinking about buying a used GM vehicle with this engine, you might be tempted by lower prices compared to similar cars and SUVs of the same age and mileage. However, you need to be very careful because the potential repair costs could end up making it more expensive in the long run. If you're set on a GM vehicle with a 3.6-liter V6, aim for the newest model with the latest updates. But honestly, it's safer to consider other options instead. Number 5. Volkswagen 2.0-liter TSI. Volkswagen cars often appear to be reliable during their first 4 to 5 years when they are covered by the warranty. However, after this period, they can become less dependable and costly to maintain. This is especially true for models equipped with a 2-liter 4-cylinder TSI engine, which is used in popular Volkswagen models like the Tiguan, Passat, and GTI. This engine, known for its direct injection and turbocharging, is commonly found in European cars. As a 2-liter TSI engine ages, it tends to develop various issues that can be expensive to fix. Some of the initial problems include misfires, rough running, or drivability issues, often caused by faulty ignition coils or fuel injectors. Additionally, this engine can experience failures in its PCV valve, water pump, high-pressure fuel pump, and timing change tensioner. Neglecting the timing change tensioner issue can lead to engine failure down the road. The challenge with Volkswagen in America is that the repair costs are typically higher than those of comparable Japanese, Korean, or North American brands. Many drivers mistakenly believe that owning a Volkswagen will have similar maintenance costs to Toyota or Honda, but this is not often the case. So if you're seeking a reliable car with minimal long-term repair expenses, it's advisable to avoid any Volkswagen equipped with this particular engine. Number 6. Subaru EJ20 engine. Subaru is famous for making cars that usually last a long time without breaking down, but some problems with certain Subaru engines can be really expensive to fix. This doesn't mean all Subarus are bad, but there are specific engines to watch out for. For example, engines like the EJ205, EJ207, and EJ20G have issues with their air conditioning systems, and they can also have problems with piston rings getting stuck. If those rings get stuck, the engine can stop working and you'd have to spend a lot of money to fix it. Then there are the EJ20 engines used in cars like the Forester, Legacy, and Impreza. These engines tend to develop a knocking noise in cylinder number 4. They can also have problems with oil leaks from different parts of the engine. Some Subaru engines, especially in older Subaru Forester models, are known for blowing head gaskets suddenly. This can happen even if you take great care of the car. Generally, Subaru cars are pretty reliable, but you need to be careful with the EJ series engines, like the EJ20 and the EJ25. They can be troublesome. Number 7. Ford EcoBoost 4. EcoBoost is the word Ford uses for their engines that have a turbocharger. They've been using these engines in their cars and trucks for more than 10 years now. But not all of these engines are the same. Some are good and some are not. For instance, Ford has been making the EcoBoost engine with 2 turbochargers in their F-150 trucks for a long time. These engines have become strong and last a long time, but some people who own them have had big problems that cost a lot to fix. So, while they're not terrible, they're not perfect either. On the other hand, Ford has the EcoBoost engine with 4 cylinders that goes in many of their other cars. These engines are a whole different story. The older ones, like the 1.6-liter version in the Ford Escape and Fusion from 2012 to 2015, have a bad reputation. They have problems like engine misfires, oil leaks, and sometimes even dangerous stuff like coolant and fuel line leaks that could lead to fires. Ford had to recall these engines because they were so bad. Later, they replaced them with slightly smaller 1.5-liter and 2-liter versions, which are used in many Ford cars. Ford also has a 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine in some of their cars, like the Mustang and a few SUVs. But this engine has its own set of problems, like overheating, coolant leaks, and issues with the cylinder head gasket. Because of all these problems with the 4-cylinder EcoBoost engines, it's tough to say you should buy a car with one. If you really want one, make sure it's been taken good care of, and try to get the newest version you can find. Ford has made some improvements over the years, so the newer ones are better. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.